Hello students, coming to Java programming, chapter 2 of unit 4 is exception handling. And in this exception handling, we are going to discuss about the topics introduction, exception handling fundamentals, hierarchy of standard exception classes. These three topics discussed today. Generally, exception is a new mechanism added in object-oriented programming features as a feature. And in C++, we have this mechanism for handling runtime errors. In the same way, in Java language, this exception handling came up with new features compared with C++ language. And here it is having some more key features that can handle these exceptions in effective manner. Here it is diagram showing you about the exception. When any runtime problem occurs in our Java programs, it is a chance to usually occur runtime problems in our program executions of any language. In this Java also it may happens. When it happens, immediately the control creates an object that is related to that exception rises, and that exception can be thrown, and thrown exception should be capped by any exception handler. And based on this basic scenario, the exception handling designed in an effective manner to handle runtime errors in program executions using Java language. The first topic is introduction. And we know that, and we always consider, an exception is an abnormal condition. Generally, it occurs in a code at runtime, the code execution at runtime. Nothing but whenever you are executing a program at runtime, one type of abnormal condition occurred, and due to this abnormal condition or runtime errors, and program terminates unconditionally. Right. In that cases, some data inconsistencies we may face problems, or we may get some abnormal termination that leads to system crash or data crash like that. So to control or to handle such a type of situations, what we have to do using this exception handling mechanisms. So in other words, we call this exception is a runtime error. In some of the languages of computer, maybe this exception handling is not supported. In those cases, the errors must be checked and handled manually through the use of error codes. Like, you know that language C, there is no exception handling in computer language called C. So in those type of language program executions, to handle these runtime errors, usually it's a chance to occur exception errors in any programming language. So in those days, so those errors must be checked and handled manually, possibly before going to runtime, or sometimes maybe at runtime, you may get some abnormal issues or abnormal terminations of the programs. But here in this Java language, exception handling mechanism avoids all these problems, and in process, it brings runtime error management into the object-oriented world. So whereas in C, it is procedure-oriented, structural-oriented, but whereas it coming to C++ and Java, this runtime management is completely embedded into these object-oriented programming design, and it avoids all the problems faced in procedural or traditional languages like C. And coming to how this exception handling mechanism can be implemented while we are designing programs based on these runtime situations usually occur at our program executions runtime. A Java exception is an object that describes an exceptional condition that has occurred in a piece of code. Generally, in our sequence of instructions, nothing but our program, in any instruction of the program, we may get any such type of exceptions, right? When it occurs, and we consider that exception and one object type of exception is created, right? So before going to that one, when an exceptional condition arises, an object representing that exception is created. That it means many type of exceptions there. And as we know that exceptions are of two types, built-in exceptions there and user-defined exceptions also possible in any object-oriented programming which supports this exception handling mechanisms. So in those cases, and whenever we arises these exceptional conditions in our program executions, an object representing that exception, that is based on that type of exception, that object is created and thrown in the method that caused the error. Maybe it possible occurring exception and it automatically thrown based on the situation. That method may choose to handle the exception itself. So we need a mechanism that should handle this thrown exception by some piece of code. In anywhere of our program, some way of instructions generate these exceptional cases, and we need a part of code in our program as well to handle that type of exceptional cases in our program at runtime. So why we are doing all these things? Because of when an exception occurs, our program terminates in abnormal conditions. That is very danger and very not improper for us to organize softwares. So that exceptions must be handled. So we need some method of code, right? Either way, at some point, the exception is caught and processed by that handler method. Exceptions can be generated by the Java runtime system, or they can be manually generated by your code. These exceptions we can handle at runtime only, right? And these exceptions managed via 5 keywords in this mechanism. So those are try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. So these 5 keywords, try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. And all these 5 keywords are having their own representations and responsibilities in the process of handling exceptions occurred at runtime. And here it is. See how they work. Program statements, nothing but instructions. Program statements, nothing but instructions that you want to monitor for exceptions. Suppose in our program designing, in the framing of these program statements in our program, you may have a doubt of getting exceptions, particularly about this set of instructions. So that set of program statement should be placed in a try block. So try is nothing but a block. It has some scope, and within that scope, you may want to monitor for exceptions that generated in your code at runtime and put those instructions into this try block. This is the first and most important usage of this keyword try for handling exceptions in Java. If an exception occurs within the try block, it is automatically thrown by the controller. Whatever the exception generated from the program statements of this try block, that automatically thrown out of this try block, and your code. And as I told you, one handler code should be there in your program to handle that exception thrown by try block. So what is that block is? Here it is called catch block. Right? Your code can catch this exception using catch block, or we can call this as a catch clause, and handle it in some rational manner. In this catch block, we may have some set of statements that illustrates how to handle that exception generated by that try block. Got it? The two keywords we discussed about now, try and catch. So try is the block which can use it to monitor for the exceptions of your program statements, and catch is the block which is a block which contains some set of instructions to handle the exception generated by the block called try, and that exception automatically thrown out of from this try block by the controller. Next one. System generated exceptions are automatically thrown by Java runtime system. These are the points to be keep in mind when we are going to do our example problems or example solutions practically. And these are the key points to be remembered. System generated exceptions, nothing but some built-in exceptions there, and that are automatically thrown by the Java runtime system. To manually throw an exception, this automatical process is okay, but whenever you want to throw the exception manually by your designing program instruction, so you are manually throwing an exception intentionally in your program of this based on situation, then use the keyword called throw. By using this throw keyword, you can throw exceptions manually in your program. Got it? Try, catch, throw. Next one. Throws. Any exception that is thrown out of a method. So thrown out of a method must be specified as such by throws clause. Throws clause or throws keyword. Throws keyword. As I told you, 5 keywords there. Try, catch, throw. Throw is the keyword to throw an exception manually. Throws is a keyword or a clause used to throw an exception out of the method, thrown out of the method, and we will practice all these in the upcoming topics. Okay. Next one, any code that absolutely must be executed after try block completes is put in a finally block. So here, after this try block, after catch block, and why we are maintaining this try block and catch block in our program? So try block is monitor the exceptions generated in our program, and catch block which handles the exceptions generated by try block. And after these two, whatever the statements of your program must be executed after these two, after generating exception handling, though that set of code must be placed in a finally block, must be placed in finally block. So I hope you understand the 5 keywords, the basic idea, how these 5 keywords are used in handling mechanism, handling exception using based on the process. So here it is a general form of an exception handling block. So here try block is represented like this. Use the keyword try. When I'm saying it is a block, it has its own scope, open curly brace, close it curly brace. This is called try block. This block of code is mainly meant for monitoring for errors, nothing but exceptional errors, runtime errors. And catch is a block. It is also clause or a block. So catch keyword followed by, just like a function we mentioned here, parenthesis. Within this parenthesis, we can specify what type of exceptions are generated by this try block. So some of the exceptions thrown by out of this try block, and there must be a type to that exceptions, right? And we'll see how these types can be represented for the exceptions generated in our program. That exception type followed by exception object, and it having its own scope, open curly brace, close curly brace, and body of this catch block has the code to handle, how to handle this exception should be right in this catch block content. And we may have multiple catch statements in our program, multiple catch statements. And this is the finally block, where this finally block contains the block of code to be executed after try and catch block ends. So this is the scenario of organizing your program for handling exceptions generated at runtime by using this try, catch, and finally, sometimes we use throw and throws. So total 5 keywords. Got it? And this is the diagrammatical approach of this exception handling mechanism. So try block contains a block code that causes an exception. When an exception is generated within this block of try set of instructions, that exception must be throw, and before that one, exception object created. Exception object created based on the type of exception generated in this try block. Based on that, the class object is created, and that should be thrown, right? That should be thrown out of this try block. Once the exception is thrown out of this try block, immediately based on the type generated, that catch block responds to catch this one, responds by catching that exception, and this block of code catches that exception and handles thrown by the try block. This is the concept called exception handler. Exception handler. This is catch block. So the same scenario we applied in the design of programs for exception handling mechanism. For example, consider a simple scenario to better understand the concept before going to work with the practical programs. So I have a class connect program. The purpose of this class is connecting. So you may get some type of runtime errors during the making this connection online. And now I have written some code to connect to server. So I have a set of program statements to how to connect to a server, right? This connect class provides you the code that how to connect to a server, right? But whatever we have the statements to how to connect to a server, sometimes maybe runtime errors may generally occur. There may be a possibility of that server is not available. Even the server available, our connection is not in active case. So many exceptional errors may be generated during the connection, making a connection to a server. So even though we are having well-established program statements to how to connect server, but even though sometimes maybe exceptions may be generated, right? So sometimes it may generate any exception, like what type of exception it is. Some example case here. If server is down, an exception is raised. Server is down. We are unable to connect to server because of the server is down. For this reason, there are many causes occurred based on the device we select to connect. But the code in the catch block will be executed. So for this, when the server is down, I am the program trying to connect to that server using this my program statements, but I may have some doubt like this part of code may get errors like this at runtime. So that's why I have keep all this code in the try block. So try block is monitored to what type of exceptions may generate during the code of execution of my program. So that exception, generated exception can be thrown out of this, thrown by this try block. Then immediately there is a catch block that catches that exception and handles according to the or some remedy to overcome that exception generated by the try block. So here it is in this diagram. Same the code to connect to the server, try block, normal code, but it may get some and generate error generated. But within the catch block, I have an exception handling code, the code to connect to backup server. If the server is down, if that is the exception generated by try block, I have a remedy handler for this exception is this catch block. What this catch block does, if the server is down and that is the exception, and catch block immediately do connect to the backup server. So that is the ready-made solution to overcome my or to solve my runtime problem like connecting to server is my problem, right? So this the way we can use this exception handling mechanism in real time also by using these keywords or clauses, try block and catch block. Mainly these two keywords are very important for making try block rises the exceptions generated in your code, and catch block catches that exception generated by try block and handles in a rational manner in particular situation based on that. Coming to note point here, very important regarding to this try and catch block. From JDK 7, the addition of a new form of the try statement that supports automatic resource management. Automatic resource management. This new form of try called try with resources. This is also in your curriculum point. We will discuss this topic later. Try with resources is described in upcoming topics in the context of managing files. Managing files because files are some of the most commonly used resources. And when we are working with these files, and when we consider these files as the resources and accessing files and appending and doing some operations on these files, you may get some runtime exceptions. And to handle that runtime exception generated by these resources in our computer system, so we use this private resources concept. Next one, like hierarchy of standard exception classes. Here it is, hierarchy means level by level three type relations among the classes that are used to handle these exceptions. Here it is a top level exception hierarchy. Generally, there is a full hierarchy for these exception classes. I will show you later. But before that, as a beginner of basic learner of this Java programming, specifically about this exception handling mechanism, and we should know aware of these basic hierarchy form. Here it is, throwable is a basic class, super class for the two types of things here, that is exception and error. So coming to here, all exception types are subclasses of the built-in class. So throwable is a built-in class, and whatever the exception you may get during the program execution of using this Java language, whatever the type it is, all exception types are subclasses to this built-in class called throwable. So throwable is the parent class to all the exceptions generated by your Java programs. Though throwable is a top of the exception class hierarchy. But where actually this throwable class available in java.language package. So in this package, we have this throwable class. Can anyone, what is the super class to this throwable also? Right. As I told you, there is an object class in Java, object class. So that is the super class to all the classes you created in your Java program. So object is a super class to this class throwable in usual way. Next one, immediately below throwable, there are two subclasses that partition exceptions into two distinct branches. As I shown here, for this throwable class, immediate two subclasses there, exception and errors. So first one branch is headed by exception. So what it means? This class is used for exceptional conditions that user programs should catch. We can catch those exceptions generated in our programs. So those we call or type of exceptions belongs to this exception class only. That it means these exceptional conditions that user program should catch as division by zero, invalid array indexing, all these type of exceptions generated by our programs. So these exceptions programs we can catch and handle. It is possible to catch and handle here, right? So there is an important subclass of this exception called runtime exception. So here it is. For this exception class, there is a subclass called runtime exception, and it holds all the type of runtime exceptions generated by our programs. Those are the exceptions we can able to catch, and we can also handle those exceptions. Got it? This is very important hierarchy of standard exception classes. So throwable is the parent class to all the exceptions generated in your program. And there are two subclasses for this throwable class, exception and error. Exception are the exceptional conditions that can be that the user programs should catch and handle, right? And in the exception class, for this exception class, there is a subclass called runtime exceptions, and it holds all the type of exceptions runtime uploaded runtime. Okay. The other branch is topped by error. So this error class defines exceptions that are not expected to be caught under normal circumstances by your program. We are unable to caught these type of exceptions. We are not in a situation to caught these exceptions and handle. Exceptions of type error are used by Java runtime system to indicate errors having to do with the runtime environment itself. But we cannot able to do such a mechanism to handle these error type of exceptions. For example, stack overflow is an example of such error, and at runtime, the using of this stack may be not user defined stack. We may generally use, our computer system may use some stack data structures for our program executions, and based on that memory or it may be working, an internal problem occurs as an user or a user program. We are in not a position to handle those exceptions to be solved, or you can handle those exceptions. Such type of exceptions are considered as a type error exceptions. So this chapter will not be dealing with these exceptions of type error, because these are typically created in response to catastrophic key failures, and with that not under control of user or any user programs. That is completely different based on the system configuration and the time situation based on that conditions that cannot usually handled by your programs. As a user and as a user program, we are unable to take those errors to handle. So that's why we are not discussing this type of errors. We are only discussing about exceptions that we can caught and handle. That is called exception type runtime errors. And these are the things only we are discussing in this chapter, right? Next one. This is the final one, that is. So here it is. One thing, the throwable is the main parent class to all the exceptions generated in our computer program. Exception is the one type, one subclass, and error is the another subclass. So this is somewhat fully defined hierarchy of standard exception classes. So here this exception. So here this exception class, I told you that we are discussing only the main part of this runtime exceptions here about the subclass of this exception class. And these are the things we are going to discuss: arithmetic exceptions, array store exceptions, class cast cost exceptions, concurrent modifier, enumeration, illegal argument exceptions, legal monitor state exceptions, like this. So most of the times we will discuss about these runtime exceptions. And also another type of subclasses there in this runtime: illegal state exception, index out of bound exceptions, negative array size, null pointer exception, type not present exception, unsupported operator exception, security exceptions. All these things generally we can handle in our programs usually, and most of the time these the things we covered in our curriculum of this Java program of this chapter, exception handling. And some more there, IO exception here, it is also a part of this exception class. And here also when we are working with the files or any connection based socket exceptions, file not and connect exception, unknown host exception, network related, input output point of view, some type of exceptions may be generated, and we will take and those things here. And reflective operation exceptions, and here also this based on class not found exception. Usually this type of also occur when the class name is not matched or something like. So reflective operation exceptions, this type of exceptions also generated. And clone not supported exception, interrupted exceptions. So these are the exceptions generally we are going to discuss about these type of exceptions generated in our computer programs. Got it? So this is for enough for this video. And in the next video, we are going to see the example programs of the things what we learned in this video about the 5 keywords: try, catch, throw, throws, finally. And first we will see the try and catch blocks, how these two keywords or clauses use it to handle the exception in our Java program executions, and handle these runtime exceptions at runtime. Thank you.